This is Tia Graham reporting for the Real News Network in Baltimore City, Maryland. I'm standing in Old Town Mall, a once vibrant outdoor shopping center, all but abandoned to urban blight. But the city has big plans for redevelopment here, and soon this desolate piece of property could be the next battleground in the fight over how to fairly revitalize Baltimore City, and more importantly, who benefits. The Old Town Mall was a once thriving retail hub in the heart of the city, which provided a place to shop for middle and low-income city residents for decades. But now abandoned storefronts serve as a haunting reminder of the area's storied past, and another vacant eyesore that belies the city's effort to revitalize neighborhoods beyond the inner harbor. But that may soon change. The Baltimore Development Corporation, the quasi-public agency tasked with promoting economic growth in the city, has awarded the firm Beatty Development with the right to come up with a plan for the future. However, it's a decision fraught with concerns over the city's past deals and current controversies.
The Old Town Mall project is one that must and definitely have to include the Old Town community.
That's because Beatty was awarded a $106 million TIF to redevelop Harbor Point just down the road, a deal which was controversial. And just 2 weeks ago, the city voted to approve a $660 million tax break for Under Armour CEO Kevin Plank to build Port Covington, a planned city within a city on roughly 150 acres of underdeveloped southwest waterfront. Both deals are a point of tension for the communities that feel left out, heightened by the reality that big tax breaks for wealthy developers only exacerbates the city's entrenched poverty. Case in point is what's known as EBDI, or the East Baltimore Development Incorporation. It's a massive, sprawling attempt to transform the community surrounding Johns Hopkins Hospital, in part underwritten with a tax break known as a TIF, or tax increment finance. A TIF allows a developer to invest future property taxes in infrastructure, but Maricela Gomez, an activist and scholar who has studied the impact of TIFs, says EBDI has fallen short.
We haven't done the analysis. For example, just again, take EBDI. We haven't looked at how much money was put in and how much money is going back into the community. So unless we know what happens, I mean, TIFs might be a wonderful deal if there's a benefit on the other side for community.
And failed to benefit the people of the city most in need. She's also critical of the hastily announced $100 million give-back deal negotiated by developers to clear the way for the Port Covington tax break.
Say that we have a pattern of uneven development. We have a pattern of territorial accumulation by the rich and wealthy. And then we have talk by them and the government that it's going to trickle down and benefit the larger community, like communities here outside of the EBDI footprint. And then when that doesn't happen, we make sure we have guards.
And her concerns are echoed by some city leaders and activists. The Real News was there when protesters disrupted a presentation by Sagamore Development at City Garage to promote Port Covington. And later when Councilman Carl Stokes railed against his colleagues after they pulled the bill to approve the TIF from his committee, before, he says, major issues with the deal were addressed.
We had no third-party analysis of the bill, which is totally crazy, of the TIF rather. It's totally crazy. Nobody does that. In Howard County, they have a big TIF before them. Calvin Ball, their president, said we're not moving the TIF until we do a third-party analysis.
So the question becomes, is there another way? And what can be done to ensure that the Old Town avoids the pitfalls of previous tax break deals? The East Baltimore community organization called Change for Real, in conjunction with the Agoma Foundation, think they may have a solution. Along with a group of residents and community groups, the organization has been working on their own vision for Old Town Mall for over a decade. The idea, not to wait until the developer sets the agenda or ask for subsidies.
We've tried to institute a real different kind of development here, which we call holistic development, which goes beyond the traditional bricks and mortar development to create human development opportunities and also economic development opportunities that are sustainable.
Which is why they've constructed a detailed plan for the mall that includes community input and amenities, retail stalls for small local businesses to flourish, a job center to help residents find work, and more affordable housing. And they've taken this strategy a step further. Rather than wait for the developer to request a tax break, this group is already meeting with Beatty Development. The idea to be part of the process.
And the East Baltimore community, because they are the heart of the city, because they are the urban community, because they are the builders and molders of the East Baltimore community, They desire reestablishment.
And not just react to it.
The community, like they might get a kind of chunk of cash like is happening in Port Covington, but they're not really woven into the development process so that you're really re-engineering, in a sense, the capacity of communities to actually grow.
It's an alternative route to revitalize the city, they say, without excluding the people who live here.
We want to make sure that the East Baltimore community is not pushed out of their existing environment, but they're able to build, they're able to become homeowners, they're able to become entrepreneurs, introducing their own business, their own talents. We want those that are yet in the community to become successful, to become achievers, and that's what Change for Real is bringing into this project.
This is Taya Graham and Stephen Janis reporting for the Real News Network in Baltimore City, Maryland.